The success of the gold pens significantly boosted the national budget, causing King Sejong and his ministers to begin paying attention to the positive effects of trading. Despite the increasing budget, this shift toward commerce quietly galvanized dissatisfied forces among the officials. Conservative ministers gathered to express their dismay. How come the royal court become a place to do business? They lamented that merchants, who were traditionally seen as the lowest social strata, were receiving too much favor from the king and his court. They all blamed the crown prince, stating that the entire situation has been started by His Highness the Crown Prince. They resolved that they must set His Majesty straight so he doesn't stray even further to the wrong path. Though acknowledging the young prince's brightness, they dismissed him as just a young kid. They were poised to file an appeal, but before they could, Taejong passed away. Seeing this as a sign, the dissatisfied officials decided that waiting for the next chance is the best option. Meanwhile, Hyang, the crown prince, remained busy. He was acquiring books from Europe to create a plausible source of inspiration. Planning to tell the officials he learned his ideas from these books so they wouldn't suspect everything was his own invention. He concluded that he must also know how to lie, confirming that everything is according to plan. The new proposals. Hyang continued his innovation by suggesting the adoption of Hindu numbers, what Westerners called Arabic numerals, into the kingdom. He argued that they were highly useful for expressing numbers. The Minister of Taxation, Kim Jom, and the Minister of Personnel, Hyo Jo, agreed with the Crown Prince's suggestion. King Sejong approved a trial run in those two departments for 1 month, promising nationwide implementation if the results proved good. Next, the king brought up a serious matter. Emperor Yongle of Ming was highly satisfied with the gold pens that Sejong had sent as a gift, and had sent an edict ordering a tribute of 10,000 pieces. Recognizing the strain this would put on the already lacking national budget, Hyang offered a solution. "Father, how about the government runs a business?" Inspector General Sung immediately objected, but the king silenced him, telling Hyang to continue. Hyang proposed that since the Ming Emperor liked the pen, and the Ming Empire was enormous, Joseon could contact the merchant troupe in charge of manufacturing the pens and produce more to sell in Ming in addition to the required tribute. Furthermore, he proposed ordering merchants to accompany the envoys to Ming, demanding only a rent payment in return. The king and his officials performed quick calculations and realized we can certainly make a profit. The Crown Prince's eloquence. Inspector General Sung however, vehemently rejected the plan. "We must not proceed with His Highness's Crown Prince's plan." He conceded the plan would bring wealth, but argued that if wealth was gained, people would drown in luxury, which would lead to tyranny. He warned that this path would make the king's true war impossible to achieve. The Minister of Rights strongly seconded this view. The Minister of Rights also argued that letting the lowly merchants participate in a diplomatic trip would defile Joseon's dignity, concluding that the young crown prince doesn't really know national affairs and diplomacy. Hyang requested permission to answer, which the king granted. Hyang seized the argument immediately. "Did the Inspector General say that if we gain wealth, people will drown in luxury, and this will lead to tyranny?" He countered that the wealth was being brought from outside, not squeezed from the people's sweat and blood. The Inspector General insisted the sale would be a one-time success, and the people would bear the burden when it failed again. Hyang's voice cut him off. "Do you only live for today, Inspector General?" He then provided stunning consumption figures: 400 gold pens at the government level and more than 1,000 among the masses. The shocked Inspector General was forced to stammer an apology. Hyung hammered his point home. Therefore, at least for the sake of the people, the companionship of merchants is absolutely necessary. He then presented a book, The Geography of the World, which he acquired through the envoys. He revealed that neighboring countries like Ming and Dai Viet harvested more grain and had a surplus. Hyung concluded that Joseon must use the profits from the envoys to purchase grain and provide relief to its suffering people. Sung-um, the Inspector General, countered with conservative ideology. The true way of the king means the honest poverty of both the ruler and the people, being content amid poverty, taking pleasure in acting honestly, and building virtue. Hyung unleashed his final, most passionate retort, dismissing the ideology as hypocritical. Do you see people genuinely wanting to live in honest poverty? The people are just poor now. He graphically described the suffering of the people, dying from drought, freezing in winter, and starving in spring. He posed the rhetorical question, under such circumstances, who will praise the monarch for its virtue? Citing the saying, even a noble will jump over the wall if his child starves for 3 days, he proclaimed, a king is the father of all people. Shouldn't he do anything for them? The king, deeply moved by the crown prince's impassioned plea, slapped his hands on the ground and shouted, "My boy, wonderful talk!"